welcome back to another episode of Red Hill Racing Podcast. I'm Ben Knight here once again with Mr. 40-time Dustin Lee. What's happening, Dustin?
What up?
What up? Did we do that this weekend? Is that why we're saying that? Were we saying that this weekend?
No, it just comes to me when you introduce me on here. That's all I think of. What up?
I didn't know if Darnell was doing that this weekend when he was hanging.
No, Darnell was just sleepy.
Oh shit.
And hungry.
Man, I already said that. Dang, I already said that word. All right, not safe for work. We were gonna curse. Sorry, we love y'all. We try and keep it as clean as possible, but we get excited, and that's just who we are. So love us.
It is what it is.
Leave it. Listen, whatever y'all want to do. Man, we had a big weekend. It seems like it. Probably because I was at your house Wednesday through.
That felt like a whole week, like the what kind of almost was really Wednesday to Sunday.
Right? Yeah, we spent from Wednesday to Sunday together. To me, it felt like we were at an XDA.
Yeah,
and it was really just a day and a half race.
yeah. Less racing and more working is what we did.
Yeah,
for the most part.
For sure. So before we get into that, we want to shout out all of our sponsors per usual. Without their support, it would be hard to do this. It would be hard to get up here and talk for y'all for 2 hours. So anyways, we love you, but yeah, we got to have the sponsor support and the Patreon and subscribers support. Also, we're going to announce something here after I shout out these sponsors. So thank you to Worldwide Bearings, MPS Racing, Penske Racing Shocks, MTC Engineering, Platinum General Services, Manchester Mines, Montgomery Motorsports, Hard Times Parts and Service, my very own Night Marketing Group, Energy Coil, the University of Wind, BMF Components, and what do we have on tap tonight, Dustin? A new sponsor announcement.
That's right.
Man, this reminds me of kind of like our MPS stuff, and I think it's probably, would you say it's fair to say that
same thing, same time, same thing.
this company is, I mean,
Juggernaut.
Juggernaut. Feel like they've been doing it just as long. So we're going to go ahead and welcome Schnitz Racing to the podcast as an official supporter. Woo! Yes, that's awesome. You and I have both known Dave Schnitz and really the whole crew, Ryan, Sheila, Laura, Nina, everybody, Sarah's over there, Trevor's over there. Like, we know everybody, I feel like, and I go up and visit probably at least once or twice a year.
Oh yeah. I mean, even as a fellow dealer, I communicate with a lot of times Laura. That's who I usually email, and I order stuff from them all the time. Some of Ryan's stuff, just random things that they might have that it's closer to a customer or whatever. And they've always been super helpful as me as a dealer and personally. Dave years ago was one of my sponsors and probably would still help me if I needed, anything. He's
for sure,
like one of the just good old boys of the industry, just right there, like you said, with MPS. The sport would not be where it's at without Schnitz or realistically MPS or anybody, so they're a huge player.
Oh, I agree 100%. That's, I mean, like when it comes top of mind of like companies that support the sport, and it's like, it's got to be, Schnitz Racing, MPS Racing. I know MTC is usually doing a lot too, but I mean, Schnitz and MPS, I feel like they're involved in literally everything.
Yeah, I don't think they know how to say no.
I know.
But for the sport, that's awesome. Like even myself, you got to give back, and it's what keeps the ball rolling. I ain't gonna lie. It sucks, sometimes to shell out all that money at the first of the year. But like I was telling you earlier on the phone, me and you were just talking before, like earlier today, like now is my time to like relax because I know I ain't got to pay all these people, so.
Yeah. I'm sure been stepping up every year and sponsoring more and more stuff.
Yeah. So it plays a huge part, and I'm sure I wouldn't even want to imagine the amount that they actually give out to help the series and everything and help the sport evolve. So without them, we'd be struggling. I do want to point out that I probably sound funny. I talked a whole lot this weekend with people coming to the trailer and asking questions and, late night activities. And the old voice, I'm not a real good singer, so I guess they're just tired. I don't have that real strong voice. So I'm here. I'm not sick. I just sound wore out because
Dustin's
I am.
worn down, man.
Yeah.
He's worn down. It's all that winning you did. See, I sound good because I didn't win shit.
It's probably all the screaming I did every time my bike wheelied later rounds.
I'm surprised. Well, I guess in that respect, I'm surprised, I don't have a hoarse voice, because I was cheering on all my teammates since I couldn't make it very far.
Man, so I guess we probably should talk that we really dropped the ball on our assumptions on the shootouts, right? We didn't do very well at that, I don't think, at all.
Yeah, let's we'll touch on that. So yeah, let me pull that up real quick. So shout out again, Dave and the whole Schnitz Racing
Yeah,
crew. We appreciate y'all jumping on board. True legend of the sport, and as
man,
Dustin said, always giving back.
all these sponsors we have are like elite,
Yeah,
like it's the top dogs. You know what I mean? It's awesome.
for sure. All right, I found it. So as Dustin mentioned, we did piss poor, and to top it all off,
We
to
couldn't
top
even
it off,
race either.
well, yeah, to top it off, when we said not to pick ourselves, like, Dustin's like, man, I gotta pick myself. I gotta pick myself. And I mean, I might have picked myself as well. I don't know, but we weren't there either, so it wouldn't have mattered if we
We
picked ourselves.
sucked.
Oh man, oh man. So I got it pulled up. So the no box shootout winner was Mr. Marcus Moore. Neither of us had him. Dustin didn't have him. I didn't have him. Do you remember who got runner up? I should look that up too. Who
Oh
was runner up for
man.
Marcus? Did we have?
Um,
Dang, I dropped the ball on that.
I don't know who runner up. I do know that our four guesses was a failure.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, for sure.
So we were bad at that.
Oh, it was
Mike
Mike
Hansen.
Hansen.
Yeah,
Mike
yeah.
Hansen.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Good,
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
All right. So not a complete failure. I did have Mike Hansen in my top four. So mark one down for me. I'm gonna take these little wins since Dustin beat my ass this weekend. So that's one a little bit for me. I'll get to that. I'll get to that. So congratulations to Marcus Moore and also Mike Hansen for making it to the finals. Great showing by those two. Moving on to the box class. I did pick this one right. I nailed it. I picked Jordan Weiss, and he did win.
Yep. Yeah, you did. And I told you that was a good pick when you picked it. Like
Yeah.
I was like, I just couldn't pick everybody, but that was a good choice. Oh, another win for you. Good job.
When do you remember who he raced? I don't. I did a bad job of doing my research.
In the final of box, oh Lord, it was Jordan and
Was it Ronnie? I don't know if it was.
no, he
Ronnie.
no
Was it
he
Spooky? No, I think I beat Spooky. Yeah, I beat Spooky in box somehow.
I don't know who it was, man.
Dang,
Like,
I did piss poor research. I'm sorry,
well,
y'all.
we were busy, so
Yeah.
and we also had after racing activities, which may have possibly erased our memories. So
No, never, never.
the alcohol did that. Yeah,
I
I mean,
just
it just
did bad research earlier before we jumped on this, but I will take that because I did correctly pick Mr. Jordan. So I'm up 2-0 on Dustin, which we'll settle that here in a little bit.
I don't know if I can settle all that, but I
Moving on to 6-0, we had Mr. Dave Young was the winner in that, and once again we did not pick that correctly. However, Nick Bowling, is it Junior, right?
yeah, yep.
Yeah,
Nicholas.
Nick Jr. Nicholas. We both had him in the 6-0, and he was the runner-up, correct?
Yep.
On the shootout, yep. And then Nick Bolin, he went on to win the 6-0 in the shootout the next day. Or, I mean, not the shootout, but the regular race the next day. So, great weekend by the Bowlings.
No doubt. Yeah, they had a good weekend.
So, we're going to go with I was 3 to your 1. How about that?
Yeah, I mean,
Should we talk about the race when you and I met at Six Bikes and I turned it red?
Was that in street?
Yeah, it was in Street ET.
Bro, I can't
You
when
don't
I get
even
to
know.
going in 3 classes, everything kind of I got my tickets laying here to try to refresh my memory because it gets a little blurry. There's a lot of
Yeah.
things you just don't remember. Like, what round is this? You just go race. You go up.
So let's start off with so we had a great plan before
First
we
of
left your
all,
house, right?
I want to mention that I stunk it up. So, do you want to talk about how we done in the shootout?
Yeah, we shouldn't skip that we stunk. So, but let's start off with the great plan we had, right?
Well, the great plan was I wanted to stop at the Blue Beacon, and you left and went ahead to the racetrack because you didn't want to wait an hour, which I don't blame you. Actually, I sent you on because I knew it was going to
Yeah,
be an hour,
I
and my
get
motorhome and
impatient.
stuff was nasty. But man, it was so clean afterwards; it was worth it.
Yeah, I get totally impatient for no reason. I mean, there was nowhere I had to be. I just had to get to the track.
But for the listeners, if y'all have a big rig or a truck and trailer, and it's a lot to wash and you ain't got time, I drove my whole ass RV through a truck wash, and it was $94, and it looked outstanding.
It did look
Like
good.
no, I mean, yeah, like the trailer still needs some. There's some black streaks at the top where it sit all winter that I'll probably have to like mean green off, But like other than that, it looked. I was like, man, made me feel so much better.
He was pumped about that. But
Yeah,
so we had a great plan. We were going to do a private test session for 2 hours before
yeah,
the regular test session started on Friday, which would have been phenomenal for me, right? Because
yeah.
I brought two bikes that I didn't even really know if they were going to run or run good. B, it was my first time to the racetrack, so some test hits would have been great. And
That's
C,
why. That's why I done that. I was renting the track for you. Let's just be.
I know you were, because I
Yeah,
mean, you'd already been tested what 3 times in one
yeah,
race, or
yeah.
it was a
Yep.
lot. It was a lot. So that was the great plan. Oh, and C, I was going to attempt to use the delay box again on the bike. So,
And D, we was going to do a video for the university
oh
to win.
yeah, yeah.
We didn't get
So
to do that either.
oh man. So we had it all planned out, and then lo and behold, it was not supposed to rain on Friday, and it basically what rained that morning, and then
And it was like this pissing ass drizzle. Like it was off and on the worst thing ever. Cause like it was
it was
just enough to keep us
annoying.
from doing anything.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
would rather it just fucking pound down and rain like crazy and go on somewhere than that stuff. You know what I mean?
Like it did Friday night. But
Yeah, but we were in the bed when it done that. So,
well, yeah,
well, I
we'll get
was.
to that.
Darnell might not have been, but I was. I was a good boy. Went to bed.
So as Dustin said, it would basically spit and barely sprinkle for 15, 20 minutes and then nothing for an hour. And right when we thought we were getting ready to go, it'd start that again. So it was a long, slow
We didn't even
Friday at
get the
first.
normal test time for
No.
SDBA. Like we got cut like I guess 45 minutes off of what we normally would, the hour and a half we would get. Now we could have tested while the shootouts were going on if you lose, but I didn't because I was just like over it. I think I made a top gas hit or something.
Yeah, well, I mean, to me, I'm not going to test until I'm done racing anyways. That's just
Right.
kind of
Oh
how
yeah,
I
well
am.
yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I
Well, we
mean,
didn't
as
have
far as
time
like,
really to
well, yeah,
test.
but even if we wanted to try and like steal a pass real quick, I just don't, can't operate like that. I gotta stay focused on it. But dude, I want to give a quick shout out because we kind of got a new eats. I don't even know where it is. Shout out to our boy Spooky, Mr. John Markham, Mr.
Oh
NHRA
yeah,
World
the
Champ.
pizza pie.
Yeah, we was sitting there in the middle of this crappy rain, not rain, waiting to go do our private test rental on Friday, and Spooky sent us text. He's like, "What y'all boys doing?" And we're like, "Just waiting, trying to go test." He's like, "Well, me and Kason are eating some pizza. It's phenomenal. Y'all want some?" And we were like, "Heck yeah, bring us some." That stuff was good. I wouldn't say it was VMP. Giuseppe's good, but it was I don't
It
know.
was
I'd
just
rate
as
it like
high
a
or higher than Giuseppe's though.
oh the price. Yeah, it wasn't cheap.
Yeah,
It wasn't
it's
cheap,
like 80
but
freaking dollars for three pizzas.
damn, it was good. I'd say it's like eight
You
out of
know
ten
what's bad
pizza.
about that?
What's
I
that?
ate, I ate two pieces of that. I ate one piece then, and then one piece after we were done Friday night.
Then I owe you a couple bucks because I ate
No,
four.
no, man. I like everybody having a good time. It was all good,
Yeah.
man.
So moving on to what the shootouts we didn't get. Did we?
Talk about your shootouts first, because mine's short.
Okay, well, so we were super tuning Stevens Busa, which I chose to bring
And we actually
beforehand.
probably heard it more than we helped it, and then had to go back to where
So
we started.
so Dustin and I did some super tuning prior to leaving his house, and it was really just trying to clean up like the idle and throttle response. I mean, this thing was running down the track,
And it
but
worked better here.
it
It,
did.
it
It really did. I
yeah.
still don't understand that, but
I
whatever.
think
And
it's just
then
too much. We done too much.
yeah, and then when we got there, Wes Brown, our buddy Wes, he was helping me out some as well on Friday, and we I don't know, felt like we had a good little base set up. Well, since we didn't get to test or test much as we had planned, we went up there and had what maybe an hour before the shootouts.
We might have got two passes per bike real quick, like it was close.
Yeah, yeah. So I went up there and first thing that happens on that bike, because that's what I was choosing to arm myself with. I'll take a step back. I took the delay box off because I just I'm not comfortable. Y'all have heard that story probably already. So
Got
I took the
scared.
box off because it was on it, so I was scared. Plus, I had found out I got paired up with my boy John Spooky Markham in box, and I already started immediately talking shit and told him that I was going to take the box off just so I could give him a fair chance. Which he
Give
thought was
yourself a fair
hilarious.
chance because
Yeah,
he
I know.
knew.
Yeah, it was funny. I told John that, and he was like, "Man, put that thing back on." He's like, "I know how good you are hitting the bottom," and I was laughing. So, anyways, went up there first hit after the super tune in, leaving off the lever, and like when I threw the lever and went on the throttle, it seemed like something happened, but I'm not like great at feedback. And then the next thing I know, it blew the tire off. So immediately,
Yeah.
like first pass, I was like, son of a bitch. I mean, I don't want to say I was pissed, but I wasn't thrilled, obviously. So I come back, jump on the blue 14, go down, make a hit. It was fine. I don't even remember what happened, but made a decent hit. Come back, and I'm like, all right, I can go back up on this real quick to see, what it's going to do this time. So I go back up, and I realized what I felt the first time. What happened is when I went to throw the clutch and rip the throttle, it basically hiccuped, like did a boop boop, and so like that wasn't gonna work.
The enrichment tables that we
Yeah,
fondled.
yeah, we do. Oh my god,
We fondled them and they didn't
yeah.
like it. They liked it at home, but didn't like it on race day.
Oh man, sorry, I had to plug in my computer. Yeah, I like that. That's a good one. Yes, we fondled the rich enrichment.
Yeah.
Did not like it. So
I mean, I could have said finger fucked them, but
oh man, now we're getting wild. We're getting wild. This is episode 15. Our true colors are coming out. We can't contain ourselves.
You
Sorry,
can tell
y'all.
we're stressed.
Yeah. So I get back, and now I'm just mad. I'm like, you know what? I was like, I can't even ride this thing. And
And then I said, use the two step.
no, that was the next day.
Oh.
So I parked it. Yeah, I rode the blue bike, and didn't I?
Oh,
Yeah.
blue. Oh, blue.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did.
Yeah.
So I jumped on the 14 to go up for box and no box. What was up first? I guess no box was up first. I feel like. Does that sound right?
Yeah, I think so. I don't even know, to be honest. It was no box.
I don't know.
It was
who I
no
raced
box.
either. Who did I race in no box?
Uh,
Dang,
let's
that's
see.
bad.
You had John in box.
So I don't remember on no box. I did win no box on the blue bike, and then I come back around. I did have to race Mr. Spooky, and what had happened? I'd watched John go down through there a pass before. I think it was 6 something. Anyways, his bike went like 670.
I do know this. You said, I got myself a plan.
Yeah.
Off of trimmers,
Yeah, so I seen Spooky go down through there, and he went like something. I don't know. It was like 670s, I feel like. So I was like, well, I don't.
That might have been the pass he left the throttle stop on.
It was.
Yeah.
He left the throttle stop on. He said he thought he had 0.8 seconds of throttle stop on, and he had 8 seconds. So
he getting old, guys. He can't see the buttons no more.
He didn't have his glasses on.
Oh, so, Pro Cube kicked his butt.
Spooky came back, and yeah, I really don't. I don't know why my memory's so bad now, but I don't know. I guess it's just because it's a long weekend. But
weekend activities.
Yeah, I left decent. And I just went down through there, and I don't know. Spooky couldn't run the number. That's what it was. So I won that. So I felt pretty good for hardly having it in testing. I was going the second round down to 8 bikes in the shootout.
It's like riding a bicycle.
Yeah, it was like I knew what I was doing until I didn't, and that was second round. And wow, it all came undone second round. I think I lost to Marcus, who won the no box shootout. I'm pretty sure I lost to Marcus second round.
Well, it's always good to lose to the winner.
Yeah, I mean, it makes you feel a little better.
Yeah, you wasn't beating him. It was his day to win.
Yeah, so I don't quite remember. I feel like maybe it was just, I don't know, a decent little race. I think I was a little bit late maybe, and then he just got me anyways. Then I come back around for no box, or box, I mean, and can't remember if it was Big Dave that I raced. Anyways, I just flat missed. And like didn't even know I missed. Sometimes you'll have that. I mean, Dustin knows what I'm talking about, but
Oh
Generally,
yeah,
Dustin and I have a pretty good idea of, how we hit the tree by the time we get
it's
by
early
the
in the
tree.
season.
Yeah.
You give us about August, we'll be calling our lights when we leave the starting line.
Well, I tried to call it and I didn't think it was 80 or whatever the hell it was. And anyways, that came undone quick. I couldn't win that round. So that was my evening. I immediately went to the cooler and just started hanging out with my friends. So wasn't the best start. And Tiffany pointed out I shouldn't have called that I hadn't lost on a Friday, which I still haven't lost in a while at XDA on a Friday. But yeah, so called myself. She said call
Yeah,
myself out on that one, so I stunk it up Friday.
yeah. You know, when we wanted to put ourselves in the Final Four, it kind of caught up to us. So
Yeah, Dustin was like, "Man, I really want to pick myself in the shootouts," and
I
yeah,
would have missed that one too. So you
neither
know,
of us made it to the shootout Final
I'm
Four. So
I'm
you
going
want
to
to tell them
start
about your
with
evening?
I'm going to start with my better of the two, which ain't good, but it's one round better than the two. So in no box testing on um, Friday, I just made one hit. I actually rode my top gas bike on motor just because it's already set up with a two step. I don't have to take a delay box off another bike to run no box. It just seemed like a good idea. And I did. It went like a 562. I think I was 0-1 off the trailer. Thought, sweet, I'm good. I don't need no more passes on that thing, you know. And I went up there first round. I had to race Grady Powell, and he was on a brand new build. Might have got one or two test passes. He was 005 on the tree against me. I was 03, and his bike, as I call it, for some reason, it hucklebucked about second gear, like it spun, then hooked or something. And I rolled out and secured that deal. And second
He was
round,
trying to cut your head
yeah,
down.
he did. You know, that's a Dustin Leeism. We'll get to that later. We'll get to that later for Super Comp. Um, Second round, I had to race Spooky, you know, my boy, my teammate, John Markham. I was cool with it. I was ready. I was going to whoop the champ, you know, I was ready. He was 024, I was 029. And I'm not like remembering these tickets. I got them in my hand.
Oh, okay,
So,
now I feel better. Gosh, I should have had my tickets.
yeah, I went out and grabbed them before I come up here to do this. But he was 024, I was 029. Man, like I thought I was there. Like I was running around him. He would dial like he dialed a 602, and I was on a 560, and my bike has like 127 mile an hour, and he has like 115. And I was rolling up to him pretty hard, and I rolled out of it as I come around him, and I was 010 behind. Did not get there. I went a 61 with an 8 at 117, and he
Hmm.
went a 603 off a 602.
I think it's
So
worth noting. Sorry to interrupt, but I think it's worth noting, and maybe you're getting ready to say this, so maybe I should just wait for you to finish.
I mean, I don't know what you're going to say. So
Yeah, I think it's worth noting, and this is not a knock, but the finish line at Brainerd is
oh,
pretty
it's a
dark.
dungeon. It's a
It's
dungeon.
pretty damn dark
Yeah,
down there.
and that was my fault because I have been known at Brainerd to get about 330 and reach up and flip my shield up before I shift to third. But I ain't got a shift now because I have auto shift, so it's been really easy. But I just didn't do it. Like I could see him. I thought I was getting there. I rolled out, and his wind light come on. I'm like, damn, did I break out? Like I can't believe the bike would have picked up, and it didn't. So I sucked that up. You know, that wasn't the bad one. You know, we still got, you know, good old box deal, and I stunk that up. And what's really bad about it is I was really good. You know, I was off the trailer. I think I was like 0-2, first hit with the box this year, and then I pulled one out and I was 0-1. The bike was running like 564. Well, first round I had to race Ronnie Woodall Jr. and
Who
he
showed up
literally
late, like
he literally did not
just
get no
unloaded.
testing. He had a brand new, fresh motor. The bike had not been on the racetrack since the previous year at that track. He actually unloaded and won the 6-0 first round.
Which
And he
was
had,
him warming his bike up, right? He didn't even have time to warm the bike up.
yeah. Like he farted up and went to the racetrack, right? So I'm an idiot. So, you know, I had my box set, and I was 011. Now, saying that, that was my second time coming off the top bulb this year. I'm a believer that, you know, if you haven't done it in a while, the more you do it, the better you'll get. Like your lights will increase because you're doing it more. You know what I mean? Like you're getting more comfortable. And I was sitting beside him up there, and I was like, I ought to roll one in the box because he just got here. He has no idea what to even start, where to start. Honestly, he just gets lucky. And I told myself not to be a pussy. And I wasn't a pussy, but I got my ass kicked because I was 006 red. And
Oh man,
and
even 004 on the green.
yep, and he was 04. So, you know, it wasn't a good day. And sometimes you have those. So after that, I went and got my bike and I got it ready for a top gas hit and I went a 512 and it made me feel better.
I would tell you to sign up for University of Wind, but I feel like we're going to get that played out on us all year because people are already telling us
Yeah,
that
yeah,
pretty,
yeah. Wes was
pretty
wearing us
consistently.
out. Like, there's this university you guys can sign up for. Like, nah, crap.
Wes
Like
said that all weekend, and what
yeah,
Brett told me on Facebook earlier that I could
yeah,
sign up for it. We're going to get worn out. So,
yeah, yeah, yeah. We probably ought to start taking our own tutorials. But
oh
there's just a
man,
thing like, there is days that no matter what you do, it's just not your day. Like, even though we know what to do, there's times that I guess like this time, me telling myself not to be a pussy was what got me. You know what I mean? I'm sorry if you don't like that word, but that's what I said to myself. So I didn't say sissy or anything like that. And I
we
wasn't.
keeps it real.
Yeah, I mean, I let it hang. I went out there and said, I'm gonna be 01. Well, third hit, I guess I was getting really comfy off that top bulb. Um, Now Saturday, shoot, I put that one in there that I said I needed to put in there. My best light was a 004. My worst light before the Willie show was 016. So
Yeah, it's type
yeah,
package, type
I found
grouping.
my place. Yeah, I mean, I found my place. Just took me 2 or 3 hits, and that's just part of it.
Yeah,
It's just it's
go ahead.
life.
Yeah, I'm
It's
a little
life.
bit surprised that you played that scenario out and did what you did. I definitely would have erred on the other side and, said exactly what you said. Ronnie unloaded and didn't even get to warm his bike up. Came up 160 and I would have definitely rolled one in just,
I told myself to, but I don't race scared. You know what I mean? But that wasn't really being scared. That was
no, I
being
mean,
smart. I told my wife,
yeah.
Tamara, I said that my first instinct's always right, and I didn't listen to it.
Oh, 100%. You got to do that. Always
Yeah.
trust that. Yeah, I mean, like you said, I wouldn't say that was racing scared. That was making a conscious decision to
Yeah, I mean, so
stay
what if I was
super
02?
aggressive. Yeah.
Worst case, I'd have been 02, which, if I'd done my job, it would have been 020 something, which would have been 200s better than him.
Well, like you said, you kind of had in your head that you were going to keep picking up because it was just going to be your third hit on the top bulb. So,
I
yeah,
won't never do it again.
neither
I,
here nor there, right? You lesson learned. If you
yeah,
learn and you're still doing something.
I'll never do it again. Never.
So
And I
that
got
was
another
Friday,
thing
right?
and I got another thing I'll never do again. We'll talk about here a little bit for
Oh
Saturday.
Lord. Oh Lord.
Remember, I told you what I should have done, and I didn't do it. I should have done that, but we'll get there. We're on our way to that.
Man, so that was Friday. Congratulations to all the shootout winners and
Yeah, runner ups, because
runner-ups.
realistically, everybody in the shootout probably splits. So even the runner ups winning. You know what I mean? There's a pretty good
Yeah,
little purse there. I had a phenomenal time, even though I got my butt kicked Friday night. I had a great time. I got to ride my motorcycles. I got to hang out with my friends.
that's
I
when I
got
had fun.
Yeah, so um, I got to sleep through a storm that I wouldn't even know where happened.
That
Um,
was a hell of a storm. I got to talk about that now. So, I took my little teeny tiny setup down there. I just didn't have everything ready and it just didn't make sense. So I drove F-150 with a little 6x12 trailer, jammed two bikes in there, what I thought I needed, and we rolled. So,
yeah,
of course, my
we
friends,
rolled. The RV was running 85 on the interstate.
yeah, we were rolling. That was because I asked Dustin, I was like, I think pull the trailer right. And he showed me we were doing
Yeah,
hauling ass down to
as
Chattanooga.
long as you ain't going up a mountain, she does fine.
So of course Dustin graciously said, y'all you can stay with us, which was great. And the
On
first
my
night I
couch, that's for a
did,
midget.
well, the couch I could, I came in late, so I didn't want to wake anybody up. So I didn't even know if it pulled out. So I just curled up on the couch and it was all right. It could have been
It
better, could have been worse. So that was first
it
night.
was dry.
Yeah, yeah. So the second night, um, Spencer was there and he had his whole big 50-foot trailer. Well, I guess the trailer portion's still probably what, 30 foot. Anyways, he had like two bikes in there, which is not normal for him. Well, I had my air mattress, and I said, I'm going to just probably blow that up, and I'll have plenty of room to stretch out, right? And Dustin said, no problem. Spencer said, yup. So we moved some stuff around, had that set up, was sleeping great, man, phenomenal. And then, I don't know, I'd say probably 3, 4 in the morning, like, I got woken up because, like, it was storming. And I'm talking, like, pretty good, like, even thundering, you could hear it raining.
Meanwhile, it was do 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 in my camper. I was out.
Yeah, you weren't the only one though. So many people next day were like, "What storm?" Like, how did you not hear it? I mean, like it was
Bro.
wind blowing, like it was crazy. So I tried to go back to sleep, and I don't know how long I thought I went back to sleep, but I woke back up again. And this time it was sort of the storm. But I looked up and I was like, "Man, Spencer's got to fix this raggedy ass trailer." I was like, "It's leaking." It wasn't leaking. He had the damn vent open on the trailer, one of the vents, and it was like right above my air mattress that was set up, and I was soaking wet. I was like, man,
Speaking of that, you probably ought to get that air mattress and let her air out.
that
Well,
is a
you
good
slept.
point.
Yeah, because you slept on the camper Saturday night.
Oh,
So
dang. Dang, that is probably I got to do that. Good point. Good point. So that was my Saturday early morning. So it took a little while to get going Saturdays because it did rain pretty hard, through the night, early morning. But the staff did a great job, got everything cleaned up, and we started late. What time we start? Like 1, I feel like.
yeah, it was afternoon. I think he wanted to
Sometime
have the drivers
afternoon.
meeting like at 12, and
Yeah.
it happened not too terribly long after that because he sent us right back to get ready. So
So we
one
had a
o'clock.
late start to the Saturday festivities, and then I don't know where you want to go with that. I mean, do you want to talk about?
I mean, I got a short one I like to air out because I sucked in 560.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
It's short and sweet. We got 2 qualifiers. Now, saying this, I hadn't hit the pro tree on this bike all year. Just now starting. I was 0-4 off the trailer, went a 55. Oh, it's too fast. Calmed her down a little bit. I was 0-3, went a 560 with a 0. Number 1 qualifier. I'm like, yeah, I'm worried about this because I never race good when I qualify good. Never. And it still ain't proved to be wrong because first round, I was 0-26 and went a 562 sliding the tire. My buddy Jonathan was 0-05 and went a 61 with a 3 out the back door. I was ineligible. I couldn't do it. His package was less than my reaction time. So as a racer, when I left, I knew I hit the tree decent. I sprayed, tried to get him out there, sent him on his way. Didn't work out. The worst part of it was the next round, he was like 050 something on the tree. That's a Dustin Lee-ism.
Man.
They either hit it hard or they go red. So it's like if they're not red, oh God, they had a good one. You know what I mean? So you gotta.
You did have some lights turned down on you.
Oh yeah, there's some rounds later on that I had some lights on me and I still somehow magically pulled it off. I mean, one round in Pro ET, I think it was, I was like 0-3 and Dusty was what, 0-02 or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was something 005
Yeah.
maybe. It was good.
Yeah, and I had to race the other end of the racetrack better than I did the front, but I still pulled it off. But in my, poor Dusty didn't know that I was aware that he could go faster than what he had dialed. I kind of pay attention to things. And I know his bike. I tuned the clutch in it. So I know what it runs.
Insider info.
Yeah, when he said I was dialed a 560, I said, this sandbagging fool. Well, let me just show you my nitrous. And, it worked out for me in that scenario. But you can go ahead and talk about
my failures. Do you want me to talk about my failures?
Well, to be honest, I really don't know. I know what happened, but I don't know how far you was when things happened.
Well, I'll put it like this. So I was gonna run, this. I was planning to run Street ET and Pro ET. And then I said, you know what? I said, I'm down here. I said, I'm gonna pick a index class. And I knew the blue bike would be close to 6.0, and I knew Steven's Busa would be close to 560. And I said, we'll just let the bikes decide. Well, and keep in mind too that like I don't hit the pro tree very well, or seemingly don't, and I kind of already. Well, Dustin will tell you like I plan to never run 560 again. I'm just kind of over it. But
I was surprised you run it because the bike was dead on the number, but I know how you suffer on the pro tree game.
So. Well, so yeah, so I decided, or I made my time runs. Yeah, we made our time runs in ET, and I was like, I think on Steven's bike, I was like 552 right off the rip. I get back and, Wes is right beside me. And of course, Wes is like, "You're running 560, right?" I'm like, "No, I'm not running 560." Because I guess I already decided. I went like high 590s on the blue 14. I was like, "I'm just going to run 6.0. Perfect." Wes like, "You got to run 560." He's like, "Once you roll in deep, you're going to be perfect." And I was like, "Damn."
I mean, he
Wes has a
wasn't
point.
wrong.
I was like, Wes
Yeah.
has a good point. So I went up and spent another $100, and I come back, and so I go up for the first super comp 560 run, roll it in, don't turn the top bulb off, which is kind of rare for me in a pro tree. Leave, everything feels good. I'm not joking, dude. I think I got my ticket. I think I was like 030. I'm like, hell yeah, I hit that thing good, and I had some room to roll in. But I went a 564. And I was like, what the hell? I was like, there's like, I didn't turn the top bulb off. There's no way I killed over a 10th.
Yeah.
So I was stumped. And, you know,
I
if
think he
y'all
was
don't know,
barking
then
the tires. Ben's a very aggressive throttle guy, and I
I
think it was rotating the tire a little bit.
don't know, man. Something was wild. And normally when I get rolling deep for Pro Tree, it'll kill anywhere from 500s to 800s. And I'm talking like five kind of just rolling in, not really
Medium.
knowing exactly where I am, and then eight when the top bulb's off. And that's like
Yep.
pretty standard and
No,
really across
that's
all
about the same
tracks.
for me. Like I always say that if you roll
Yeah.
in top bulb off, you're going to lose a tenth.
I
You know.
literally was well over a tenth, like talking like 12, 13, 1400s. So I come back and I'm like, maybe something happened. Second qualifier. I don't know which one I just said, but I win a 565 and a 564 on my two qualifiers. I'm like, that's no way. Now, was probably also fair to point out that we had what, like gusting 30-mile-an-hour winds Saturday?
Yeah, and that was a big part of it because now that I think about it, my top gas spike was a tenth off, and it picked up a tenth when the wind stopped.
Well, yeah, but usually I've also never been anywhere, and we know the wind was gusting, but I've never been anywhere that even wind and weather has swung that up.
I thought that the same. I thought the head, and that was a straight on headwind. I'm talking straight on, and I thought the same. I'm like, man, why? I kept turning my top gas spike up for qualifying, and it wasn't going any faster. The mile an hour was low and everything. And then later on that night, when the wind stopped, it went from a 514 to a 504, staging the same,
Well, yeah,
same
but
everything.
here's what got me though is that, meanwhile we started ET eliminations before, index racing eliminations, and like the bike was still running like mid 550s. So, needless to say, same deal with the blue bike. It ran like 597, 596 or something on the time run, and then boom, go up for 6.0, make two passes. I'm like 608, 610, well over 10. So I'm like, well, this is awesome because I don't have nitrous on either of these bikes. I'm just wasting money right now. So, anyways, fast forward, go up for 6.0. Didn't feel like I pushed it. I actually raced your brother and just turned it red. I was like 20 red, and I had good lights. I was like 20 and 30 green on that bike. So I was like, all right, well, there's one done. And this is what really blew my mind. So come back, and like we said, the weather did change drastically, but it was still the wildest swing I've ever seen. Um, Basically we started eliminations right as the wind had died down and it got dark, so it cooled off some too. And in my mind I said, look, you win a 64, 65, try and hit the tree decent because I had decent lights. Go down through there, like you don't even really need to close it up. Like just run it wide open and you're good. If you get there first, then you won. Well, I made a game plan and I stuck to the game plan. And I did peep over, 330, and I said, I'm good. And I peeped over at 500 feet and I said, oh, I got this in the bag. And as I came up on the traps, I just barely rolled out. I mean, killed like 2 mile an hour, 3 mile an hour. And my wind light didn't come on. And I said, there ain't no effing way. I said, no way. I get the tickets. I win a 553, picked up over a tenth. And I was just
I
like
think it was
dumbfounded.
I picked up that much, so I think it was the wind. I mean, to be
I
honest,
guess
because
so.
my
It's just
bracket bike
wild.
went from a 564 best qualifying for the day before to a 554 on a buy run that I never dialed because I thought it was a fluke.
Well, it was wild to say the least, and I mean that could have been it. It's just I was like dumbfounded. So, I mean, meanwhile, I think we'd probably run what 2 rounds of ET, maybe 3 rounds.
Yeah.
So I was out of both the index classes. I entered first round. But luckily was still in Street ET and Pro ET. It was just dumbfounded by that, but it is what it is. As Dustin mentioned earlier, should have trusted my instincts. And I almost never say, hey, you don't have to close it up. But in my head, it wasn't even going to run anywhere close to breaking up.
Yeah, I'll run a 590 off a 560 if I got room. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, so that was on me, but no, I just started kind of going to work in the other classes, and I put the box back on, so I should have backed up, but I put the box on Stevens Busa for Saturday because as we mentioned, there was some kind of hiccups and stuff, and we just didn't really have time to straighten out. So Dustin said, "Look, put the box on, leave off two step. It's not going to hiccup because you're wide open." I said, "Damn, you're right, smart guy right there." So I listened.
I've lived those pains.
I hit the first time run, I was 002 red with and I'm proud of that, right, Dustin? Because I asked you actually, I said, what do you got in your box? Right. And
Yeah.
you told me your delay. And I took
we made a unanimous decision to where to put his at.
yeah, which was like what? That'd have been what, like a 10.
You started out at 1,000. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a 10th slower than yours. Anyways, we know I'm slow. So we kind of guessed based off of Dustin's knowing how slow I am at reacting and damn near nailed it. I was 002 red. I said, all right, well, that's not good. I mean, that's a good start. So I come back, we throw 15 thou in it, and I'm like 30 on the second hit. And I was like, okay, well, it could have been worse, like I'm green. Should have been closer to, a 15, but it is what it is. So I started going some rounds, and I just basically got a little bit better each time without changing a whole lot until I got
getting
down,
used to it like I did.
Getting used to it. I made a couple adjustments here and there, minor, depending on who I was racing, but nothing major. And then we get down in I think it was fifth or sixth round, and I had to race Miss Bailey. And she's tough. And so I rolled, I think, 6 or 7 thou out. I remember I came and talked to you about it.
Yeah.
Because I'd been
10,
hovering.
1018 was the number, right? I think.
1008. Yeah, 1008.
1008. Yeah.
Yeah. So rolled out some because I'd basically been averaging like high 20s. I was like, that's only going to cut it so long. It worked perfect. I was 15. I don't think she was bad. I think Bailey was like 20.
Probably was fifth round because it was a 7-round race.
Okay. Yeah. It was fifth round then, I guess. And I won. She broke out, kind of saved me a little bit, just couldn't get there, and I won. So I was feeling good, I was 015. Come back around and have to race Mr. Spooky, John Markham, again, second time in 2 days. This time I had a box, so I was messing with John, and hey, I got my box on. Didn't touch nothing. I just been 015. Felt good about the box at this point. I let go. Seemed normal. Everything seemed right. Bike took off. Red light came on. It's like, man, that must have been tight. I must have been 00 red. I get my ticket. I am 40 red. Still don't know what the hell happened. I'm just dumbfounded by that as well. So I don't know. I mean, I guess I will say it was disappointing and sad.
You come to me, I'm like, man, I have no idea.
Crying. He was like, I can't hear you crying. I'm busy trying to win multiple classes. I said, I know, but it just don't make sense. I'll say this. I haven't, come off the button enough to say for certain I didn't do anything. It just didn't seem right to, that's a 55 swing. I went from a 15 green to a 40 red.
I had the same thing happen to me in the later rounds, and I'll get to that here in a little bit. Like, I feel like that I was hitting it the same, and my final was terrible.
Well, I forgot to mention, no pressure added, and I really don't think this, did affect me. But whoever won between me and Spooky got the bye the next round, which was a bye to the final. So that was
okay. So that was fourth round.
Face.
Let's see, that was fifth round when you raced Spooky then, because it was 7 was the final.
Okay, well then, yeah. So that was a big slap in the face. I said, no problem. I'm still in Street ET, which I swear seemed like a 9-round race. Do you know?
It was the final was round 8.
Okay, well, that's close. Yeah, you would know because you made it to the damn final. So I come back around, and I think there were 6 of us left in that too, right? So there's 6 of us left. I had to race Mr. 40 time. It is what it is. Me and Dustin talked, did our normal thing, gave each other hugs, loves, and then,
kisses.
Proceeded to put our helmets on to chop each other heads off. Went up there, on the blue 14. Didn't change anything. In fact, I made sure that I staged like even more careful than normal. So in my
That
mind,
was
like,
that was in the street ET. That was the semis.
was it?
No,
Am I missing on the score?
I'm missing a ticket. Round seven's missing.
So we come around, and that's kind of where I don't know if we talked about already. Anyways, this blue bike, I love it. This thing for what it is, pretty much. I mean, it's stock motor, stock wiring harness. There's not a whole lot to it. I mean, for as far advanced as we are nowadays, especially of our bikes, this thing's basic. And man, it runs good. But once it gets late in a race and it gets hot, and I guess a little bit of it could be me maybe getting some excitement. But then again, I was telling Dustin, like, it doesn't happen to me on any other bike. This thing, you let the lever go and it'll just yank the front wheel straight up instead of going forward. And that's what happened. At least that's what I'm blaming on. But I know that's what it happened. And I was 20 red on Dustin, so I didn't get to give him a race.
I got a freebie.
Yep.
Freebie.
So that's how my night ended. I think it was down to 6 in both classes. So I won a lot of rounds and I lost before it mattered.
Yeah, I don't know what more. I lost a ticket somewhere. Probably handed it to my wife, and then she probably just said, "You don't need the shit."
Yeah.
So
that was my weekend, and then I became the ultimate pit bitch.
Yeah, you pushed me a bunch, and I needed it because my stuff was 200 degrees when it was time to go back up again.
Well, that's what teammates are for. I wasn't even mad that you beat me.
I'm going to talk about Top Gas because you didn't really have no stories for that. You should have, because there were just 5 of us.
And I should have bought my bike, which I was going to, and I didn't.
Yeah.
Anyways, dumb. There's lots of things over the weekend or after the weekend that I kind of want to beat my head against the wall, but we won't dwell on it because you got to move on, live and learn from your mistakes, right?
Yeah. So Friday night, after I got my butt kicked in the shootout, I made a little test pass and wasn't great on the tree, but I went 512 at 140. I'm like, sweet, bike's close in the morning. It'll be probably cooler, better air, better weather, because after a rain, probably put it there. So we got up, and I was like, man, I'm going to leave it alone. It goes a 14 at 135 because we had these 30-mile-an-hour winds. And I was 0-3 on the tree, which I was pretty happy with. I'm like, that works. So I turned it up just a smidge, like at the end of the launch, like where I leave on 15%. Toward the end, I went to 20, and then I let it ramp up. And I put another degree of timing in it to help it some. And it didn't do nothing. I went to 514 again because of the wind, and wasn't that great on the tree then. And I was like, man, I got to do better because I was like 07, and that was my last qualifier, and we're going into first round. First round, my buddy Dave had to race him. Don't know what happened. He pre-staged, he staged. He's on the 2-step. I ain't even pre-staged yet. I was actually just getting my fat gut tucked in so I could tuck. And he was on the 2-step, both bulbs lit, just rattling away over there.
Ready.
And I said, well, and I was actually pushing in, and I froze, and I went 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, and I just shoved that thing in there like from not stage to stage. And it was like so much as I stopped myself on my legs, a tree fell, and I come off the button, and the bike kind of like barked the tire, like it wanted to spin, but it did hooked, but it shot me to the left. So I take the long way down, and about third gear, I like touched the override button, and it turned into like the warp speed, and everything gets blurry because it's so rowdy. 180 shot, woohoo! It was fun, and I was around him. I was ahead of him the whole pass. I was 0-1 ahead throughout the entire run. Like he never actually at the mile an hour cone, I was 2 ahead, but I rolled out like right there, and I was 0-17 and went 5-11. I was pretty stoked. I'm like, hey, I found my tune up. I took the long way down. The override probably made up for that and then some, not touching it, leaving it alone. Well, then I got a bye to the finals. Same tune-up, same everything, no wind, cool weather. It was dark, 5:04 at 142, 02 light. I'm like, holy crap, got to take power out.
Cooking.
So I pulled 2 degrees and said, hey, when I run the final, I'm going to just drop the bottle pressure down to like 850. I think I was running 900 in the heat. And I got my bottle warmed up. They call us up there. Usually time you get up there and everybody gets their ducks in a row, the bottle's cooled off. Well, it hadn't. It was like 1,100 pounds or 1070 or something.
I thought I was
I'm
going to get blamed there for a second. I guess I didn't warm it that round.
No, I did it. I did it. And I was purging my little heart out and trying. I'm like, man, I'm just going to waste all the nitrous because the pressure wasn't going down like it would till I let off the button. Then it would just come right back up. And I was like, man, it was like over 1,000. I said, this thing is going to probably kill me when it leaves. But I mean, what do, right? You just send it and see what happens. And Wes anticipated the tree or something. He was like, like 0.2 red. Like he left. It should have been an LB3A, what it should have been. And but it was Pro Tria. I guess you can't have LB3As in that. Anyway, I was 06 because I was like shocked when he left before the tree fell, and I was late. But it didn't matter because he red lighted. But it didn't try to kill me. I had pulled that timing out, and I literally felt the timing. Like I could feel like where it went from 13 degrees pulled to 15, and then back. I felt it like the bike nose is over. And it went up 511 at 140 in the final for the win. So I'd got myself an early win because they were low bike counts. But the perk of it was SDBA has guaranteed payouts in all the sportsman stuff except 460 and V-twin. So we still got paid. Me and Wes split. Friends stuff, what we do, teammates.
Yep.
What would be the next one?
That's
Let's
awesome.
go.
So shout out to Sonny Vic and the whole SDBA because what you said there's 6 bikes in it?
Five, yep.
So you got to buy the second round, but you had basically one race.
I had the win. Yeah, Wes went the first round was the only time I actually had the race.
Yeah, like clean green. Y'all went down through there, had a couple of hiccups.
Yeah, then I had to buy. Then Wes went red. Yeah, Wes went red. I had to earn that first round.
He also spun after he went red.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I was fired up after that first round because the double bulb 2-step thing. I was like, all right, let's go. We'll turn into Matt Smith right here for a second, play some games. But it's a good time. It was fun. Pro ET. So we already know that I fumbled the shootout up real nice in that deal. So I got my first time run, I was 018 on the tree, which was exactly when I put that one back in there, where it should have been realistically, because it was the first pass. And then I was 013. Actually, I put 15 back in it. Yeah. Let's see. We only get one time run. So I was 018 the time run, 565. Got a little warmer, so I put it on a 6. I was 013. The other guy went red. I went 568. But I kind of practiced the finish line thing that round. So, oh, no, I didn't. I remember what happened. I practiced the next round. My bike double shifted, auto shift. First strike, one more strike, and it's out of here. It double shifted, so I let it do its thing, and it went to 68. Third round, it's nice having second round, it's nice having my ticket so I can just look right at it.
I don't think mine were worth grabbing.
Man, I got another red light, second round, and I was 018 on the tree, went to 61. It's starting to cool off. The wind's going away. You could see it in the numbers. Third round was a good race. So he dialed a 560. I dialed a 61. We were both 016 on the tree, and he spun. I was way out of it, went to 83. I can't remember who that was. I don't remember. 5150. Yeah, and then fourth round, I raced Caleb Johnson. And now, remember, it's dark now, guys. It's pitch black. This was at 10:52 p.m. It's dark. It's like,
did we tell them that we raced till like 1:30 in the morning?
Yeah, well, yeah. My last pass in pro was 1:16. I still had to run the final.
Dang, yes.
I had to run the final in street still. So yeah, about 1:30ish. I was 00. I dialed at 59, and I was 003, and it went to 61 because I thought it was going to pick up more because I was hot lapping the crap out of it, but it didn't. Fifth round, I was 020. This is when it gets interesting for me. I start in the left lane. I start these wheelies. Now, my bikes, I always gear them on the edge, and it was getting cold, and I was hot lapping them, which they love. They always run better when they're hot lapped. So I don't know if the bike was barking the tire like a rope, like when I leave, the track was so cold because it did go from 77 degrees to like 38. So it's hard to prep a track, to handle that kind of window. Like usually you got warm weather prep, cool weather prep, whatever. But this is when it started for me, like the wheelie thing. So I was having to pedal the wheelie. Once it set it down, my lights were suffering because it was either rotating the tire or something was happening. It wasn't leaving, so I think it was rotating the tire, then hooking. That's what was starting the wheelie. But I was 02, dialed a 58, went a 70, but he was 05 and went a 67. But I was way off the gas, and on the brakes, you only had 114. I usually have like 125. And let's see, 6th round, this is when I raced Dusty. And Dusty was 002. I was 037 riding a gangster wheelie, spin wheelie, whatever you want to call it, whatever activities. And I sprayed the meat off of it after the wheelie. And I got to Dusty and I said, man, we got to be braking because I used a lot of nitrous and I just parked it. Had 114 mile an hour, went dead on 558 with an 8. He dialed a 60 and went a 58 with a 1 at 122. So he probably wasn't out of it at all. I waited till the very last second. And then in the final, I had to race Spooky. And I wanted the right lane because that's the only lane I wouldn't wheelie in or spin wheelie, whatever. And he threw me over in the left, and I knew I was a goner. But I had a thought, and I didn't do it. Again, I didn't listen to my instinct, is I should have went and swapped my lever and bottom bulb the final, because then the bike wouldn't be leaving off a 2-step because the bike did not wheelie and Street ET leaving lower. I should have made that call.
That's what you thought to do? Holy shit.
Yeah, I should have made that call. I knew that if I bottom bulbed, hold my lever, and race Street ET style or Tennessee Street ET style, whatever you want to call it, that I knew it would not wheelie, and I should have done that because I could have just raced Street ET like that way. I could have bottom bulbed. Yeah, I was faster, have to deal with crosstalk being on, whatever. But I would have had a shot because I don't know if I missed it, plus it spun wheelied or what, but I was 07, he was 01. I sprayed the meat off of it, went 107 mile an hour on the brakes, all the brakes, parachute out, sitting up, all the windows, trying to push Pookie out. He dialed a 590 and went 590 with a 4. I still think that if I would have pushed him just a little farther, because he had just enough room to let out a little bit, that he would have went down that road of breaking out. Didn't work out for me. But that was a runner-up in Pro ET, and we split. And let's see. I had to give somebody $100 for that deal.
Well, not me, but in Street ET, you gave me 100.
Why'd I have to give Wes $100?
I guess you and Wes raced in that before that. Yeah, I think you did, didn't you? You beat Wes in that.
Oh, I think I beat Wes in Street. Why did I give Wes? I don't know. I gave Wes $100 for something. Probably
you
for
gave
no
me
reason.
100 because we worked a deal in Street.
Yeah, I don't remember working a deal with Wes. He hosed me. I'm gonna have to bone the pick with Wes. I give it to Mel.
Yeah, that's all right.
It is. It's all good. So now we're at Street ET, right? Yeah. Street ET.
You telling your life story tonight?
Man, it's a lot. There's a lot going on. So we get one qualifier. I was 026, 567, heat, headwind, bad day. First round, he was 397 red, so he was 0.103 red.
That's a good.
I was 01, dialed a 67, went a 66 with a 5 out the back door. Round 2, I had to buy back. I remember this one. This is when we were staring into the sunlight, and they didn't put that big metal deflector up yet. They did the next round, which would have been nice, the round before. But I was 0023 red. Dialed a 66. It went a 63 because we're getting around 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock where the wind's going away. It would have been, he was 03 and he went a 589 off a 6 flat. That was Jan Levitt. stock wheelbase bike, so it's easy to break out on those. You might get a good launch one pass or something. So I bought back, and I had, this was the best race of the weekend for me. I had to race Brandon Dudley. He dialed a 556. I dialed a 561. Clark Proctor was with him up there. He said, he's holding numbers. I said, no, I'm down honest. This is what it should run. This is what it should run. He was 011. I was 006. He went 557.9 off of 556, and I went 561 the 2. Like it was, I might have barely lifted. I could have broke out by a few thou maybe if I'd stayed in it. Like it was in my opinion, the closest, that was the closest finish line that I just had to it was tight. And I didn't have my shield lifted up, so I couldn't see the dark finish line. So it was risky. I thought I'd give it back that round, but I didn't. And in fourth round, raced Nathan Wall. He spun or something, or it didn't shift, or this is when my wheelies. No, I didn't wheelie in this class. I was 03. I don't know who 55 is. It wasn't Nathan Wall. Because I raced him in box.
I don't know, man.
Me neither. Anyway, I was 03 when I 75 off of 60. Fifth round, I had to buy. This was the weird pass. I was 05 and it went a 554 at 126. I said, man, it ain't going to do that again. There ain't no way. I never went with that. I stayed away with it. I was like, nah. I didn't even remember the ticket. I forgot about it until I looked at it later. Sixth round, dialed a 560, was 025, went a 61. They were 01 red. That was you.
Yeah,
85. 85. Yeah, that's you.
That's when she would decide to hike the old front wheel up on me. That was fun.
Yeah. I was good, though. I was 025, one above. So
I had no doubts that it would be hard to beat you, but I didn't anticipate going red.
Yeah, I mean,
that's not usually me, and I mean, I'm fully blaming
you let out of it before the finish line too because you just went 105 mile an hour.
I wasn't too thrilled to end my day.
Yeah, you didn't want to stay wide open and go dead on and be on suicide watch after that.
Yeah, I mean, box was before that, so like I was already dumbfounded that I'd went, swung 55 numbers from a 15 green to a 40 red, which was completely mind blowing, and then to come back and like as soon as I let the clutch lever, it just went boop, popped it right up.
Now,
and
you might remember.
Great.
You might remember because you was helping me, but who did I race in the semis? The little bike that I raced in the final had a bye, and I had to race somebody. Was it? Was it? Shit. Was it the X14?
Was it Mike?
Yeah, was it Mike Hansen?
I don't know.
It was. I don't know.
I'd started drinking. I was just making
sure I
didn't run into your bike because I pushed you.
It was Mike Hansen.
Because of Spencer.
I don't remember what happened with Mike. I think he missed a tree. But here's the interesting round. So between the fiascos of running around, trying to get back and forth, everybody knows I'm trying to auto shift this year. So far, it's been okay. It's got one strike, which is what it done on the one strike. It's done before button shifting. I think either my leg got in the way of the shifter when I was picking my feet up, or I don't know what happened. But anyway, the auto shift toggle got turned off between the last lap in Pro ET to the final one street.
Disclaimer, that was not anything to do with me nor
No, I was. You guys wasn't even like the only thing on my bike that you touched was the rear axle to push me. It was all me. I could have set my helmet on my jacket, and then it's the PMR, the key little toggle, so the helmet could have bumped it and flipped it. Who knows, right? I didn't know, and I usually check it, but they were rushing us because it was 1:26 in the morning, and we already had Popo there and Sonny Vic give him a T-shirt, trying to make buddies with them to deter them.
We went a little past curfew. That way.
Yeah, and I was 04. He was 09. And I had a great 60 foot for the street ET. It was pretty consistent, 133, and then no shifty. No, there was no shifty. So thankfully I'm a quick reactor. I got a shift light on the bike that's set up higher than the auto shift. So it hit the rev limiter for just maybe 2 or 3 wraps, and I done hit the button plug second, and then I grabbed the nitrous. But the problem was after it nosedived, when it hit the limiter, it drove me to the left. So I was in, like, I call it the pebbles, like the stuff, where you're not really should be. And I was full tilt, spraying nitrous, plugging gears, wasn't really paying attention to a shift light, dead focused on the little ZRX 1200. If I had another kid, I would have pushed it. Like, I would have blowed her up to win this round, which sounds retarded. Anyway, he dialed a 760, went a 752, took .127 stripe. I won a 570 off of 560. I'd rather be lucky than good any day. And that's what that round was. That was a lucky round. Jesus took the wheel, and I ain't mad at it.
That's tough though. That was a tough round anyways, just because you were dialed 2 seconds faster.
That part don't bother me. You got to remember, I used to race Honda Civics at my local track racing with the cars.
But I mean, if you don't do it a lot,
yeah,
it's still tough. I mean, that's a tough read, is what I was going with.
Yeah. Well, I didn't have to read it. I just run that baby out the back door. I do think I let off the nitrous like probably 500 foot because I knew it was just wasting everything in it because I wasn't going to catch them with the nitrous. So I just let off of it and just run it out the back door on what it had. He made a mistake. I was there for the taking, but I will take the win because
100%.
I like winning.
It also made me $100.
I hope everybody's still awake after listening to all this rambling about tickets and time slips, but that's kind of what
we a little bit, but that's okay.
Kind of what we do here, right? Well, I mean, it's exciting for me because I won.
I know. You won 2 classes, went to 3 finals, won 2 classes, and I was basically bridesmaid there in the quarterfinals of 2 classes. So,
hey, we did make a deal though, and I gave you $100. I really don't remember making a deal with Wes. He just got a free 100 off me. I guess. Cool.
You probably did. I think y'all did race in something.
We probably did.
Aside from Top Gas, but because see, me and Spooky made a deal too, since one of us was going to the finals when we raced. Yeah. We do that.
Yeah.
So anyways.
Yeah.
Came out with a whopping 2 hundo.
Yeah. We do have a surprise for everyone tonight. Hope they made it through this torture boredom of me reading off my tickets.
It sounded like you was eating potato chips the whole time to me.
I was flipping the pages of these tickets.
No. Everybody thought you were chewing potato chips.
We're going to do a giveaway tonight.
That's right. We have hit 5,000 downloads.
Yep. So we got a Burkhart.
I was waiting for the cheering and clapping.
Oh
man.
Shit!
I
Look here.
Set it up. Oh man, it's not the same. There you go. There you go. I was gonna say it's not the same.
The reason I hit the buzzer is because that cheering thing goes on forever, and I hit the buzzer to shut it up.
Perfect. I'm pretty sure, or Dustin, I think we announced this last week, and if not, well, it is what it is. But we're pretty sure we said when we hit 5,000, because see, our 10,000 is our goal for the big giveaway, or one of the big giveaways. 10,000, you get to pick between Manchester Mines short neck frame service, a BMF Motorsports carbon fiber tank shell, or a set of energy coil ignition coils, right? So,
yeah.
But we wanted to reward our loyal patrons, and subscribers, and we hit 5,000 just this week or last week. And thanks again to Mr. Mike Burkhart, BMF Motorsports. We have tell them what we have.
It's a Hayabusa carbon fiber seat pan.
So we hope the winner has a Hayabusa. If not, I guess you can sell it.
Hope you got a booster.
A booster.
A booster.
Yeah. So we're gonna do another giveaway, and what you want to do? Get this thing rolling? Might as well.
I mean, might as well. They don't listen to me ramble on this same Blaine tone with my crippled voice.
Yeah, it wasn't as exciting.
Man, I know my voice is roached.
It's okay. But the main thing is you went to 3 finals, won 2 of them, had a good weekend.
Yeah, I'm a little bummed though, because last year I went 3 finals and won 3 of them. I got to do better.
Yeah, but it's a good start to the year.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm not mad at it, but I just always try to do better. You know what I mean?
Well, it's tough when you get to your level.
I'm viewing your screen.
You're viewing, so you can verify I'm not cheating. So we are 3 through 69. That's our giveaways. All right, Dustin can verify.
Hey,
We're gonna do this. Random.org. Here, maybe I should
Hi.
refresh. Hi, how are you?
I'm getting my not kisses, everybody.
Hi,
So
Miss Harper.
I told Harper to say hi at everybody.
We got a special guest.
Yeah, she's off on her way now. It's bedtime. She got school tomorrow.
All right. Thank you. We should have let her we should just let her pick a number. Maybe we'll
Oh
do that
yeah,
one night.
yeah. Well,
Next time she comes in, if we'll stop and do a giveaway
yeah, that'd be a good idea.
and let her pick a number between ours instead of random.org.
Yeah, we could just tell her to pick between these numbers.
Yeah, exactly.
I can see them, so it works out perfect.
Yep. All right, you ready? Without further ado, let's see who the big winner is tonight.
3 through 69. Here we go. 29.
I feel like these are always lower numbers.
Oh man, I think that's is that Harvey? Is that Harvey? Is it Harvey Powell?
It's got to be, right? I feel like,
Hang on a minute. Let me type it in.
yeah, you got like super top secret database.
Yeah, I got the order emails on here. Yep. Yep. That's him.
That's Harvey, Mr.
Yep.
Harvey, or Buddy
Yep.
with the white drag bike booster.
Yep. Powell 79. That's him for sure. 100%.
Man, congratulations, Harvey. He doesn't have a street bike booster, does he?
Oh, dude, and he's a $15 a
I
month
know,
subscriber.
that's what I was gonna say though.
Dude, my man,
money.
look at him.
That's big money.
Hey, he always does say he's bougie, so he is bougie. He's going to have a seat pan for his bar bike. But actually, now that we're, he's got a lot of street bike friends, so I'm sure he can figure out something to do with it. Actually, Harvey, I know you're listening. I'm bringing this seat pan to you to XDA. I'm not shipping it. I'll see you there.
Perfect.
That's
Congratulations, awesome. Harvey.
Yeah.
Good guy.
I like seeing the ones. Oh yeah. He's always hanging out the trailer and stuff with us. And I thoroughly enjoy seeing, the big money spenders win.
That was our biggest one so far. So yeah. Harvey donates.
You got a nice looking spreadsheet. Ben is really organized, guys.
Stay organized with this.
He's
stuff,
way more organized than I am.
It's funny. We started off we had a string of like 3 or 4 winners in a row that were all $1 subscribers. Yeah. And nothing wrong with that.
No.
The support from anybody, and all it takes is $1. But Mr. Harvey, 15 a month, keeping the podcast going. Congratulations. We'll I'll let you. Well, I might email, or you can reach out. We'll figure it out.
So yeah, you can email him as always. Just tell him I'm bringing it to him at XDA. I know he'll be there. There's no reason to ship it.
No. So we kind of went over our SDBA spill. Next up for, I think both Dustin and I would be XDA, right?
Yeah, not unless I sneak over to the local track or something.
That doesn't count. You always do that shit.
I get bored sometimes.
Look, I will say this though. A lot of people, I mean, you do post a good amount. I will say that on Facebook. So most people probably do know your level of readiness and your level of commitment. But I just have to say again, and I guess it was probably more apparent driving home this weekend. And this kind of goes back to our good plan on the onset.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's no doubt that you are a phenomenal racer, right? But I feel like
preparation's key.
People overlook the preparation and the amount of time you spend prepping your bikes. I mean, that's huge. I was driving home and I was like, man, if I had just like one day of testing beforehand, I would have felt better and you know, so on and so forth. And that's what we plan to do on Friday. We plan to make quite a few passes.
I tried to get it set up, man. I really did. I was man, but it'd be nice even for me to make a few licks on that track again, because last time I was there, I was just making laps. And you'll see something about me on even going over my tickets. Top Gas is a perfect example. Qualify round 1 and 2, I didn't even hit the tree that hard. But when we go racing, I change. I don't know what it is about. I think I get bored. Qualifying's boring to me. But I really should do better in the qualifiers to prepare myself and make sure I find out where I'm at. But I'm really bad about not doing that. I don't know why I do it.
Like I said, my point is that, it might seem from some people or people that might not pay close attention to you, the preparation and your commitment to that is just, on another level. And
I think it makes it easier. Like if you work your tail off like I did all winter, like freshening motors up and changing. I mean, both bikes got new swing arms. I done a lot. One of them was rewired, and all that work and extra stuff made when the race season got here a little easier
Oh, for
because
sure. And you were
all I
done
had to
early
do was
this year.
just work on myself. Like just go ride and make sure that I'm good. And thankfully, it's like riding a bicycle. You really don't forget how to race. It kind of comes back to you pretty quick when you get it when the
Yeah.
adrenaline takes over, I guess you'd say.
Well, that part, but I mean, like, I'm the perfect example. I brought two bikes down there. One that I had known, you know, may have had an issue at the end of the year last year. You and I
Yeah.
had talked about that. It ended
And
up
it ended
not
up being
having,
perfect.
yeah, it ended up not having any issues, and that was a blue bike. It just, anyways, I won't go into that detail and bore everybody, but I brought a bike that I was unsure of, and then I brought another bike that I really wasn't 100% sure of because last time it had raced, Steven laid it down at
I'm about to
Orlando.
say the last time it was raced, it was crashed.
Yeah,
So
and now he got up and kept racing after it on the same bike. So,
yeah,
in my head, I said, well, he made a couple passes. It probably would have blown up by now if it was going
well,
to.
you're going to
So,
get really fond of them two bikes this season because
oh,
that's
for
going
sure.
to be two of your bikes that you're racing all year.
Well, I'm a
Until
little
you get
mad
your
at
girl done.
old blue right now. I will say this though, I did find randomly on Steven's bike that the kill tether um was starting to malfunction, and that was just randomly while I was messing with something else over the weekend. So we took care of that.
And Hard Times Parts and Service saved the day.
You did, and now I'm thinking about it. Damn it, you got to send me a bill for that.
No, no, I don't.
Okay.
I've got $40 of bagels that I've been eating, so we're good.
We'll work that out after the show. But
Yeah.
so I did find that, which could have caused me a lot of headaches over this year because basically what had happened, is Steven crashed at Orlando, naturally came off the bike, PMR
Yank
tether
the crap
worked,
out of the tether. Yep.
and didn't really even consider checking it after that. So he raced a couple rounds after that, and like I said, the bike fired up and everything. But it was close. It was one of those wiggle jiggle moments where it would have just started popping its head up from now and then. So, but yeah, so I basically drove down there with two bikes I was not confident in, and I don't want to say it showed, but
I'm
I would
glad
have been
you.
better if I was prepared, and that was my
I'm
whole point.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I forgot all about it until now. That buy run that I had in Top Gas where I went a 504. I've never pulled my tether out ever. Like I'm superstitious about it. I think it wears them out, so I do not pull it out. I don't know if maybe it got pulled hard when I was reaching over to give somebody a fist bump or what, but right when I was letting off the gas, the tether come out of that bike and it just like everything went off. Like right at the finish line. And that reminds me that I'm gonna do a little Dustin Lee trick to that thing so it
Yeah,
won't do that no more.
for sure, for sure. So, all right, well, we got through our prediction contest. We got through a very thorough SDBA recap. We've given away.
Kind of bored me. I'm sorry, guys.
God, it's not. I mean, hell, this could be our best show yet, and we don't even know it.
Usually when we think they suck, they like them. So
Yeah. I think I was just like non-enthused because I had to listen to you tell everybody how you won. It's
oh,
always exciting. I'm just kidding. I'm not a
what a
hater, I
what a
promise.
Karen.
No, I know. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
uh,
Um, let's before we close this out though, we want to thank all of our I guess it's fair, all of our students, man. We are just we're a little over a weekend, basically a week and a half into the University of Wynn, and we are just overwhelmed with the amount of people that went out on a limb and supported us and took the plunge into it.
yeah,
We touched
if
a lot on it before this or last week, I think, right? But we know there's a ton of value in it, and we know it's going to help people. But it's still one thing from knowing that and it, happening,
let
and
me
thanks to the people.
so there's everybody that's listening to this, well, 90% of them race, right?
Hmm.
There, I don't know if a lot of you listeners remember the old Psycho Bike days, but the University of Wynn has a forum on it, and it brings back the old Psycho Bike website days so much. Like we've been on there talking to people, and talking about I've been doing some clutch stuff, and we've been talking about racing scenarios, and we had a Zoom call last week that was cool. Like we sit up here in my office and we had some good questions and we answered them and we talked about stuff that happens. And like this, the wealth of knowledge. Like today, I started listening to some of the what are they called?
Lessons,
Yeah, the
tutorials.
lessons, the tutorials that you have on there, and just to freshen up. Like when somebody asks me a question, I'm aware of the tutorial, and there's good information that for me, it's stuff that I already know, but it's good to hear it again. Just to remind you, like he was doing some math questions and I was answering them in my head before he did. And I was,
Right.
making sure that I knew what was up, and there's so much value. There is not one person that listens to this that races, bracket races, that could not benefit from it. Like I'm just telling you, because I'm
Yeah.
listening to it. And I was, it's just verifying. It's almost like a checklist. Even if you think you know everything, you don't. And it's not never bad to hear it again, and freshen up and touch up and go over some stuff. And then also you can win a Vanson suit. Like, dude,
Oh yeah.
I mean, I've seen people do raffles and risk more money for less. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
I
like
don't
you
know.
said,
Maybe I'm just tooting our own horn, but we got cool stickers now, and I done a video earlier, and it's just sweet. And it's everybody was coming up to us talking about some of that stuff over the weekend, and even the podcast here. And I feel like that we're doing stuff that makes people happy, and that's an amazing feeling. It really
well,
is.
I mean, Dustin knows because we've been talking damn near every day for the last 3 months.
Yeah,
But I spent a lot of time, and it's something I've wanted to do for years, literally. So I was nervous and anxious and excited and all the feelings. But I just want to thank everybody who signed up and has already been participating. We're, 22, I think, members. So
yeah,
that's awesome. And we've only been going for a week and a half. And what I like too, and kind of going with what Dustin said, I want to point out, we've got some really good racers in there
absolutely. Yeah,
learning, trying to grow their repertoire or whatever, their tool
and just
bag.
sharpen up,
Yeah,
man.
sharpen up.
Sharpen
And
up.
we also have some complete beginners. And one of our shout out to Luke, that's our boy from Australia. We have a student from Australia, and he is awesome. I mean,
He
he's
joined. He joined the Zoom call while he was on his lunch break because here it was night and there it was day. It was crazy. It was
yeah,
cool.
not only that, but I've been going back and forth and trying to help him out as much as I can. And
And we done helped him. Like
well,
he,
he's dude. I don't even. I told you he sent. Yeah, I think I did, but he sent such a good email the other day, and he basically had just completely reworked his whole program. First off, this dude is ambitious, and like we've mentioned before, we're there to help a lot with the school, but like the lessons,
you
you got to
gotta
learn
want
on your
it.
own
You gotta
because
want it.
there's written lessons, audio lessons, or audio versions of all the written. If you don't want to read, you can just listen. And we're gonna have some videos as well going down the road. But Luke went through and basically in a week he read all the current lessons. Then he went back and started listening to lessons. I mean, he just absorbed that stuff like a sponge. And I mean, literally, I think what was it yesterday? I told you, Dustin, when I called
Yeah,
you, like
it
he sent
worked.
a long email and he's like, "Man, I'm so excited. Thank y'all so much." You know, he basically had tightened up his reaction time tremendously from, being 51 round and 180 the next round. And he just had this tight,
He went to
run
the
of,
racetrack and done what we helped him with,
yeah.
and it worked. That showed us that we're doing right. You know what I mean?
It
Like,
was just great to see that,
yeah,
especially with, someone, as he would probably say, was, just kind of a beginner. I mean, he rides his bike. He rides a stock wheelbase ZX14 true hand clutch, rides it to the racetrack, races in their street bike class, and rides it home. And man, the amount that he's improved in just a week is completely, honestly, it's mind blowing to
that
me.
just proves that if you want it and you're interested and you're devoted to to something, that with the right guidance, it's going to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you just got to want it. You can't, you know, you can't have big dreams and not work for it. And he wants to, be better. And he's taken everything we say and talk about. And he had questions in the Zoom call and we answered them. And, he had to leave a little early because he had to go back to work
Yeah,
because it
because
was his lunch.
He was
But
working
that was,
Thursday 11 a.m. in Australia, and
yeah,
we were having a call Wednesday night.
yeah, it was super cool, man. Like just having the people on the call. We had a couple miss it because they were working or whatever, but
We're
there's a
having
lot
fun
of,
though, right? I mean, it was
yeah. I
like
mean,
this.
everybody in the call seemed happy and they was ambitious and they had a lot of questions. So it's exactly what we want because there was there was a couple of them, bar back stuff. And I told them to hit me up, and send me some videos, and we'd try to help them with their situation. But realistically, we're doing more than racing. I'm tuning clutches and doing clutch stuff with some people, and then they got a bar bike that needs, maybe some wheelie bar stuff, and we're just trying to take and give everybody, I guess you'd say, the ultimate value for what they're, you can't win if your stuff ain't right. So we got to help you get your stuff right too. So it's just part of it.
Yeah, so I don't know. We don't want to bore them too much. We've hit that pretty hard over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
There's still room to sign up. Like I said, we announced we were going to cap it at 100. We might not even hit 100 this year, and that's okay because we are just thrilled to be working with everyone we got, and we know we'll gain some more members. So still some room to sign up, as Dustin mentioned. Kurt, thank you to Ralphie and Platinum General Services. We have a custom Vance suit to give away at the end of the year. We have a carbon fiber helmet to give away as well from Ralphie and Platinum. So a bunch of good giveaways. We got some manufacturer discounts, and the main thing is just the knowledge. And what I really like, and I know we harped on this and we'll continue. I mean, we're excited because our goal is to build a community too. And that's for, if Dustin and I can't answer a forum question or something right away, it's pretty cool that we got
they can kick it off and start talking, right? I mean,
that's what I'm enjoying already. The variety
the old school psycho bike vibes, man. Yeah. Like, it is cool. And you even set it up where you got some for sale items, like they can list stuff for sale, and it's just cool.
Made a little for sale category in case group members want to give.
And I want to brag on you a little bit. So I was doing one of the tutorials today, and when you complete it, it pops up a thing and says congrats. That has to be. Like, the website is very sophisticated. Like, it's awesome. Like, I was like, man, like, I'm sure there's apps and stuff that you use, but it's very nice. The whole thing on the website's very fluid. It makes sense. It's nice.
I appreciate that.
If a hillbilly can operate it, I feel like that it's pretty, anybody can do it. There's always going to be computer hiccups in the world, but for the most part, like, I think it's phenomenal. You get emails if somebody, comments or reacts to something that you've talked about in the forum, and you can go check on it. And it's almost like a private Facebook, but with all drag racing talk. It's awesome.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. And, it's going to be
You've done an outstanding job.
Well, the struggles, we talked about them, and firsthand.
You were on suicide watch. Yeah.
Well, the first website failed that I paid somebody a bill.
Yeah, I thought I was going to have to come slide a mattress on the ground so you wouldn't die when you jumped on.
Oh man. Okay. Well,
I think we had a pretty good show for everybody, and we kind of come back. We're tired. We're here.
We're still a little tired. Yeah.
It's Tuesday. You guys will get this tomorrow.
Give us some ideas for, I'd say, next week's show. Wouldn't you agree? Do some.
Yeah, I would care to have some suggestions on some things you guys want to talk about. Maybe even a guest. I've been thinking about a guest, but I'm not going to talk about it yet because I don't want to. I'm going to wait, but I have been thinking about a guest.
We might reach into our bag of tricks and get some of our teammates or friends or just a legend of the sport on next week because I don't know, but like Dustin said, if you got suggestions, let us know. What do you want us to talk about? You want to hear some more stories? I mean, you let us know and we will make a night of it. But next week we kind of open as far as that goes, and I think the following week we're going to probably dive right into XDA, maybe see if we can improve some predictions and talk
pre-race.
Talk about the pre-race for XDA because that's the main series.
I know I ain't picking myself in the gamblers race because I ain't won it in 3 years, so and I ain't picking you either. Not allowed.
Oh man. So anyways, so send us as always, comment on Facebook, send us an email, send us a personal Facebook message, however y'all want to reach out. We're here and we want to talk to y'all. Hold on, this could be a good text message. Let me see, my phone just lit up.
Oh dear.
I can't talk about that. It's top secret.
Oh, okay.
It's from the squirrel. The squirrel texted me.
Tell him we're busy.
Yeah, well, I thought it might be something worth commenting on.
So anyway, if you got any suggestions for something for us to, talk about it a little bit next week, that'd be great because we really don't have nothing going on in the next week and a half or whatever. Make sure that if you already are, it'd be great if you could subscribe $1 a month. If you have a friend or somebody that might like this, send it to them, tell them to sub up, like it, share it. All this stuff helps, not even just $1 that you donate or whatever you donate a month, but the sponsors that we have really need to see this shared, like on Facebook or whatever, because then they know that they're getting what they paid for, and where they're giving everybody certificates and all that. We got to make sure they get their value, and just make sure you like the post, like the Facebook page, share the post. If you're willing and able to sub up $1 or $2, whatever you want to do. I mean, look, everybody's going to win, probably before the end of the year. Everybody might win something, and we don't know.
It's good odds right now. It's like right at 60. Quick math, 66. You got a 1 in 66 chance to win right now, and we'd like to see. If we got around 100, that'd be awesome. You still got a 1 in 100 chance to win something.
And we're consistently going to start doing a giveaway every other episode. So. Like
every other episode, we made that with the Schnitz joining.
We have enough racing to do the whole year, right? So, there's going to be tons of giveaways. We've got all summer, the end of the year. Man, you never know. I might do something for Christmas crazy for y'all. So, I'm a big Christmas guy. This past year, I didn't. I just spaced it. I didn't do my customer deal, so I might pay it forward to the podcast deal and do something crazy for the podcast this year. I got a few ideas rambling around in my head. So we'll do something, but we appreciate everybody, and just keep doing what y'all are doing because you're really helping us.
Yeah, exactly. Everything Dustin said and more. Thank you once again, BMF Motorsports, University of Wind, Energy Coil, Night Marketing Group, Hard Times Parts and Service with Mr. 40 Time, Montgomery Motorsports, Kevin and Manchester Mines, our newest sponsor, Schnitz Racing. Appreciate y'all. Platinum General Services, always going above and beyond, of course. MTC Engineering. We had a bunch of Tennessee Street ET bikes this weekend. Man, oh man.
Man, 67 Street ET entries. You cannot tell me that SDBA ain't got the right format.
That was 8 rounds of racing. I know there was 5 acts, but damn, that race took forever. Did I say Penske Racing Shocks? If not, then I'll say it again, or I'll say it twice if I did. MPS Racing, and of course, last but not least, our boy, Mr. Dave Conforti, Worldwide Bearings. Thank all these wonderful companies. Shop these companies. They're the best, and we appreciate their support. As Dustin said, we appreciate your support. Sign up for $1 and you can win. We're going to do one every other week. We got enough now, so every other week we're doing giveaways. Going to be lots of cool stuff in the pipeline. Drop us a note. Let us know what you want to hear, what you want us to talk about. If you want stories, we might get into some after-hour stories at some point. It'd be definitely R-rated for sure, but you never know.
And since we ain't mentioned it the whole show,
what?
I had to bring some chickens up in here.
Some chickens. Man, that buffalo chicken pizza that Spooky brought us, jalapenos and jalapenos, that thing was hitting, boy. I'd eat me one of them right now. Man, that was some good pizza. That adds to our eats. I don't remember. Do you remember what that place was called, though?
He told us the name in our messages so we can look it up.
Dang, we have to add that to our list of
eats. For sure.
We had a good weekend. And
y'all rock.
Yeah, we're going to try and get some rest this week. We feel like we're going to come back nice and strong for y'all next week. And then the week after, we'll be doing some XDA preview and preparing to load up for, SDBA was a great weekend, but, I'm focused on XDA this year. I think we kind of talked about it, but I got some goals I'm going to shoot for this year. And I know you always do, so.
10 more, and I'm done.
10 more. I'm going to try. I'm going to actually try this year. No, that sounded bad. I'm gonna work.
Ben is shooting for a championship this year. That is.
I've not tried to do that in the last couple.
You gotta have goals, and I demand you to have one because that is the only way that you will push to be better.
Yeah, and apply myself. And I just kind of been taking it easy the last couple of years, racing, not focused on certain things, and just not even having stuff ready, to be honest. So but I'm ready with my main ride. I know what I'm going to do, and I got plans, and Dustin has me geared up. I'm gonna spend the next 2 weeks getting stuff ready and be way better prepared. And I'm ready, man. I'm ready for XDA. I'm excited. So
we'll talk to y'all next week. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you.
See ya.